conscious and not breathing. By the time Jackson reached the hospital, he was reportedly in a state of coma and is said to have suffered a cardiac arrest just before he was to leave his house for the rehearsal of his comeback show that was to mark his return to the stage for the first time in almost 10 years.
My brother, the legendary king of pop, Michael Jackson, passed away on Thursday, June 25th, 2009 at 2:26 p.m. It is believed he suffered cardiac arrest in his home. However, the cause of his death is unknown until results of the autopsy are known. His personal physician, who was with him at the time, attempted to resuscitate my brother. And as did the paramedics who transported him to Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center. Upon arriving at the hospital at approximately 1:14 p.m., a team of doctors, including emergency physicians and cardiologists, attempted to resuscitate him for a period of more than 1 hour, and they were unsuccessful. Our family requests that the media please respect our privacy during this tough time. And may Allah be with you, Michael, always. Love you.
I think he was so vibrant, so alive, and so many of us were waiting for his comeback. As I told him, I wanted to go to England and see him get back on the stage. There was something about Michael that he beat all of the odds, and we thought we'd see him moonwalk one more time. And I think the shock of thinking that he's gone with no goodbye is something that's overwhelming. The last conversation I had, he was in Europe. And that's when I teased him about going to England. Last time I saw him was about a year ago. Michael always, his weight would go up and down, and he always had health issues, but he didn't look particularly different to me. And I think that from what I talked to people around him, I saw no warning that he would have this kind of serious illness. And I feel like he was not treated fairly. I hope history will be more kind to him than some of the contemporary media.
The Los Angeles Police Department handles death investigations every day. Robbery homicide was assigned to this because of the high-profile nature of it. Don't read into anything as it relates to my team being here. Just by the fact of all of you being here caused the chief to decide that we should handle this investigation.
Can you tell us the nature how you...
I've got nothing else for you guys. Okay, thank you very much.
I got a call from Randy's assistant that Michael had been taken to the hospital. I then spoke to Randy Jackson. I said, Randy, what is going on? He says, I'm on the way to the hospital. I said, I'll meet you there. When I got here, Randy arrived just a short time after that. When he came in, we couldn't even speak to one another. We hugged one another. We cried. It was absolutely devastating to us. We couldn't even form the words. He went into the other room, and then Jermaine came in, and the tears were streaming down Jermaine's eyes. I said, Jermaine, and he couldn't even talk. We couldn't even speak the words. And we just hugged, and he went into the other room. We are devastated. The whole family is so sad, and I don't know when I'm going to stop crying.
And this is the hospital, the UCLA Medical Center, where Michael Jackson's body has been brought for autopsy, and later today the cause of his death will be determined. Meanwhile, Michael's untimely and sudden death has stunned the music world. Minutes after the news of his death spread, hundreds of fans began turning up outside the UCLA Medical Center to mourn the passing of a musical legend. Thousands of people also gathered at New York's Times Square, stunned by the news on the big screens that the king of pop, Michael Jackson, had died.
I love him so much. And now he's gone. I can't believe that. I heard he had a heart attack. I heard they brought him back. I heard they couldn't revive him. I don't know who to believe or who to trust right now.
seems so unreal. I just cannot believe that this is happening. And
it's the day the music died. This is definitely something that's going to hit our generation forever.
I love him. He's like a brother. He's been there for all my life. I don't know. I mean, it's just like losing a family member.
It's a very sad day. You know, it's hard anyone to lose anybody.
The community lived together. We were proud. We were proud with love for Michael Jackson.
He overcame a lot of obstacles, and that was one of the things that I think stand out with the city. And I think that's what shows out here today.
I enjoyed Michael Jackson all my childhood as I was growing up.
I always try to motivate kids to encourage them to know that you can be successful too.
First thing was just shock. You don't think he's such an icon and legend, and you don't think someone of that, stature can just go so quickly. It was just shock.
I mean, because he passed away, and it's a day in history. It's a very sad day for him and his family. So, just wanted to say our last goodbye, because this is it. After today, he goes down in history with James Dean and Elvis Presley and Marilyn Monroe. So,
I was in a shock. Nobody loved this guy more than me. I was working. I shut my store. Come here, straight up.
I love Michael Jackson. I am telling you, I'm in the industry because of Michael Jackson. When I was 8 years old at the Cow Palace, I said, I want to be like that guy. And I said, I'm going to marry him too. That didn't work out.
It's a very sad day for the world, for music, for pop culture, because he was the king of pop. And in my mind still is the king of pop.
This is kind of like when the generation when Kennedy was assassinated. I now will remember that I was in Times Square, when I found out that Michael Jackson passed away.
The biggest musical icon since the Beatles. I mean, there's no doubt. The way they do R&B music now, the way they dance, that's all Mike.
It's kind of devastating. He's one of those people that you never would have thought of dying so soon, because you think of all he did for like music and music videos and pop culture.
Now, Jackson made his last public appearance in March this year when he announced his comeback tour in London, telling hundreds of screaming fans that he would perform in London this summer and calling it his final curtain call in the city.
I love you so much.
Thank you all. This is it.
MJ's career began in a Motown group, the Jackson 5, at the age of 11, and he went on to become the king of pop up until the age of 50. Michael Jackson is a legend in music in his own right, a musical genius. Jackson's career peaked in 1980s when he was pop music's all-round performer who dazzled the world with his songs and his dance moves. In terms of his earnings and fame, he ranked alongside Elvis Presley and the Beatles as the biggest pop sensations of all times. After a break of almost 10 years, Michael Jackson recently announced a series of 50 concerts at the O2 Arena in London, and which sold out in hours when the tickets went up for sale. Albums like Thriller and Dangerous brought the pop star unprecedented fame. These are some of the songs that made him popular.
Stops your heart.